You expect everyone to believe that trains still run, guns still work, most buildings seem to still be standing, and yet they've had enough time pass for everything to be renamed the Lost Lands and the fire fields and shadows being, it's a power plant!
Is this the moment we've been working for?
It's not too late to turn back.
One always has to die.
I can't believe this is real. The year is 2025. A quarter of a century has passed, and we're still letting Paul W.S. Anderson make Resident Evil films. Oh, that's not what this is? Are you sure? Because I thought Monster Hunter might as well have been a Resident Evil film, but this, it's got the same color palette, it's a post-apocalyptic world, Milla Jovovich is in it, and she's got a set of magic powers, which is pretty much the premise of all those films. Also, she's called Alice. In the Lost Lands is based on a short story written by George R.R. Martin. Strange, nothing that man has ever written is short. And I didn't think he still knew how to pick up a pen. Oh, it was published like 18 years ago. No, that checks out. Anyway, Milla Jovovich is a witch, and she hires a bounty hunter played by Dave Bautista to go into the Lost Lands, a very scary zone. Although the city that they all live in is also very scary. It's post-apocalyptic fantasy world number 3. You know, there's only about 5 different ones, really, when you sum it all up, and this is the one with crosses. So they go out into the Lost Lands, and the people who want to kill her chase them out there, even though they're going to come right back to the city after they get the thing they want. Like, within a week, it's... He looks like he's about to sing a modern folk song, and she looks like an ancient folk tale. But folk is not a movie genre, really, and those styles clash super weirdly. And don't worry if you're confused, because Dave Bautista will open with some narration about how the world you know is gone, and then not really give any other useful information. So in summary, you will be more confused. It's only 90 minutes long, the entire film, and the problem is, this isn't a game, Paul W.S. Anderson. He's so used to not bothering with any sort of exposition about the world, because you've probably played the games. This is a short story it's from. There was no exposition in that either. We know nothing about this world. He's just thrown us into it. And if it was a game, ironically, that'd be okay, because you'd have time to explore the world, probably be a big open world thing, all the post-apocalyptic crosses. That'd be fine. It's not. and we just get the most insane story, which has still, like, the world, like buildings and trains and things that work like normal human things. But we've also, like, it was clearly our world, and it's just in the future. And yet there's witches and werewolves and, yeah. Paul W.S. Anderson is just, like, it's 10 years almost now since the Resident Evil franchise finished. He was dripping, like, the last drops of his relevance were going down the hourglass at that point. And then he did, like, Monster Hunter. And at least Monster Hunter, even though it was a bad film, he got away with it because there was such a breadth of stuff in that world to explore. Here he's kind of had to make it all up himself and not really done that. Milla Jovovich does this kind of her normal, like, hard action woman role, and the problem is that doesn't really fit with the vibe of mysterious witchy lady, so she kind of has to wheel back and forth very quickly between those two. But Dave Bautista wheels at least as quickly, because he's doing, like, the narrator, the mysterious stoic warrior, the drunken lecherous dude. There are so many roles that he is kind of just zooming around constantly that you just don't know what you're going to get from him in any scene. It really does feel, because this is only a 90-minute film, like there almost has to be a 3-hour director's cut out there somewhere. Except that Paul W.S. Anderson always makes 90-minute tight-run action movies. And usually, even in the Resident Evil ones, which got so convoluted it was ridiculous, there was just some sort of charm to it, but I feel like it's because this style, which is so out of touch, it's almost funny at this stage, it was still, in like 2012, you still kind of got yeah, that kind of style with it. There was a sort of goggle reminiscence type thing going on. That's so gone out of the window now that it is insane to me that somebody actually spent over $50 million on making this absolute symbol of the opposite of whatever cinema is. It's nuts to me, and it's just really unfortunate because I don't know. I don't really feel either like there was actually something to this world that you could do. You know, I don't feel eager to learn more about what it could have been and what's going on, because honestly it doesn't seem like there's much. But maybe that is just because they didn't really try to do any sort of exposition. And for that I am glad, at least. They kind of keep the action rolling, but no. It doesn't work. These style of action scenes, they've also gone out, and it's just kind of depressing to watch these people limping along at this stage. I grew up with Milla Jovovich as this badass woman starring in her husband's films, and even I just can't find anything to really redeem this at all, so I'm giving Joss Whedon's Rebel Moon Cut 1.5 stars. I love that this film is meant to be set in our world, like probably America, and yet everywhere important or necessary is set within like 4 or 5 days riding by horse. Not a problem, yeah. That would get you far in America. Subscribe, something, yeah.